Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
See, we got any friendlies here?
Hey, Dietmar, Scott with Pacific Raven.
Hey, Scott, how are you doing?
Real good, real good.
Let's
Look
go
forward to
around.
another-
Yeah,
Look
go
forward
ahead.
to another fun season.
Perfect. I
Yeah.
think everybody here is. Doug, you looks like you're riding on a train. Is that you? Riding on a train or on a bus? You need to unmute if you want to talk. You need to unmute, Doug. There we go.
I'm on a bus from Fairhaven to New York City.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's talk. Oh, there's a whole. Then we have Kyle McKenzie. Hey, Kyle, how are you? Where are you?
Hello, doing well. How are you?
Good. Where are you?
I am in Puerto Penasco, Mexico.
Oh, way up north.
Way up
Great.
in the
Everyone
boatyard.
is up.
And how hot is it there right
Talking to
now?
us.
Says 33 degrees, but it feels like 42 with the humidity.
Got it. And we're talking centigrade, not Fahrenheit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
What the whole world uses.
Yeah, copy that. All right. Then we have Thomas Cecil. Hey, good morning. How are you? Where are you, Thomas?
I'm in Bocas Marina in Bocas del Toro, Panama.
Fantastic. And a lot of rainfall down there, a lot of thunder and lightning right now. How's it been going?
Here a couple days ago, it was pretty close. Other than that, no, pretty temperate.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for joining us from Panama. Then we have Hans van der Tas.
Yes, hello.
How are you, Hans?
I'm fine.
And where are you? Looks like you're in your cockpit.
Yes, we are in the cockpit. We're in Santa Marta, Colombia.
Oh, wonderful. And how was your passage to Santa Marta? Fast and furious or calm?
It was like champagne sailing.
Okay, copy that. Good to have you on the call. Let's talk with
Thank you.
Tina. Let's quickly talk with Tina. This is just a warm up. I like to meet everybody. Tina, how are you? Where are you?
We are in Chapala right now to get away from the heat in Puerto Vallarta, but we are going to start going south in November.
Wonderful. Perfect. If you have two people on the call from two different devices, make sure you mute the other one, because otherwise we get a feedback.
We're
Thank you,
having
Tina.
problem getting on video.
Okay. Well, we love your voice, so that's good enough for us.
All right.
Let's talk with Abby Nicholson. Abby, where are you? No. All right.
Looks like
How are
they're
we in
muted.
time? Good. Everybody's muted.
All right.
Perfect.
There we are. Can you hear us now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Scott and Abby from Baltimore, Maryland.
Wonderful. On the East Coast.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's talk with Alan Honeybauer. Just
Yes,
say hi.
good morning. Good morning. We left last Saturday from Sydney on Vancouver Island and did a 1,202 nautical mile, 24/7 offshore trip to San Diego. We'll be leaving the boat here until the end of October, when we'll join the Panama Posse, because I've joined both, and looking forward to the trip. And the intention is to go down through the Panama and up to Florida by sometime in April.
All right, great. Thanks, Alan. Thanks for joining. I assume you're on
And
the
the background picture is the west coast of Calvert Island on the central coast of BC.
beautiful, wonderful. Reminds me of Clarice. Colin Colleen Vinning.
This is Colleen and Mike. We're actually driving from New England to Florida, and then we'll head over to Puerto Penasco in about a month.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Thanks for being on the call. Let's talk with Sailfish. Joanna. Hey, guys.
Hello. I'm home in Truckee.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you getting back to the boat?
We're definitely planning to be in Barra for the get together there in December. Hopefully we will have the boat with us, but we have a lot of stuff to finish here in Truckee, so we might end up just flying down.
Okay, well, good. The resort's there and they give us a nice rate. So thanks for being on the call, Joanna.
Yeah.
Dennis, good morning. How are you? Where are you?
Good morning. I'm in Napa, California. We live on our boat. It's an island of Freeport 41, and we're planning on heading down the end of this month.
Great, thank you. And make sure you bring a bottle of red wine for us. We'd love some
Please
good red. Perfect. Walt's on the call. Hey, good morning, Walt. Walt's Classic.
Good morning. Doreen and I are here in Poway, California, and I'm heading back to the boat on the 19th of this month. As you know, but everybody else doesn't. It's been in Vista Mars for almost 4 years. So I'm gonna do some battery work, and then I'm going to Doreen's coming down in about a month, and we will end up sailing around in the Panamanian waters, and maybe going as far north as El Salvador, but then eventually end up coming back to Vista Mar for hurricane season. And then in probably November 23, we'll punch through and go to the Caribbean.
All right, great. Thanks so much. So we have a large group here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go run a little bit through the program and get everybody briefed. And for those of you who already know this, I apologize, but this is really a monthly gathering where we try to bring folks that are either on the fence of joining or have just joined and want to find out more, and give them as much information and intel as possible. And of course, we keep it light, and let's get started. So without much ado, I'm going to just join our screen. So here's one of our lovely little pictures, and most pictures are always submitted by participants, and we make it fun, we keep it light, and we actually give it an award out. And the awards at the end of the season tend to be a week of docket somewhere, a nice bottle of rum, or just about anything that we can gather from some of our sponsors. Okay, so introductions, background, mission, communications tool, how to get your discounts at marinas and sponsors, what is good nautical, open CPN satellite charts, long-term route planning, and open Q&A. That's kind of like what we're going to go over today. And please, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat room. I'm just going to run through this, and then we'll open it up to open Q&A. First, introduction. So what is the Posse? How did it come to be? Well, it started basically in Barra de Navidad, where we have an annual kickoff event, and it was founded in May of 2017 at the resort, and a bunch of us were milling about the bar there in the pool, and it's a beautiful, lush resort on the central coast of Mexico. And at the pool, we decided to put our hands up and say, who's heading down to Panama? And 15 hands went up, and that was basically the inception. And I, of course, typical fashion, opened my big mouth and I said, why don't we call it the Panama Posse? At which point I think Neil looked at me and said, perfect, Dietmar, you organize it. And that basically was it. So our concept was, we didn't know a lot about information about Southern Mexico and Central America. And out of that, we said, well, if we form a posse, then if somebody finds something, we'll just communicate it up the line. And our initial intention was to use single sideband, but that fell by the wayside because one, not everybody had it. And two, the propagation from a northwest to a southeast direction was really difficult to get everybody on. So we formed the Posse. And we started using a different communications tool, which is the Line app, which is in a way a flawed but perfect concept for the posse. One of the things that I'd learned from my prior life was we wanted to make the communications about facts and firsthand accounts and not opinions, because as you can imagine, 5 years ago, there was very little information. There were a couple of cruising guides, and some of them were written 30 years ago, some of them were really new, and they were written from one perspective. So we wanted to focus on facts, and we keep drilling it back to just the facts, or just the facts map. And that's really a concept called Gestalt theory. It's a way of how we communicate, and the communicate is about facts. So where you're anchored, what the conditions are, and that's what it is right now, and not project into opinions on that level. And since we all come from very different backgrounds, I think it's a fair way to say this is a good way to communicate amongst different folks, and that's how we're going to keep it. So this was actually the actual bar, and this is the actual place where we're going to have the event, should you make it. Some folks fly in, as somebody said. Some people come there by car, some come by bus, some come on their own boat. And it's a lovely, lovely facility. And Secundino, the harbor master, is there waiting for you. And so that's kind of like the impetus. And so the goals are make it safer for everybody, improve data and information in all maritime areas, not just the well-charted ones, get discounts with marinas along the way. And we now are happy to say we have 70 marinas where you get a discount. As long as they're not full, of course. We also wanted to create a level playing field with yacht service providers, because every time you go into a new port, there might be a new service providers. And over time, we have now kind of identified the good ones in each port. So as you mend things, as you need things repaired, or as you need to get things, there's really good service providers throughout. And then there's some shitty ones. And our goal is to basically promote those who do as well. We also want to reduce ripoffs, corruption, and stay ahead of scams. And that's where sensors like you and everybody else basically helps us out in identifying issues. And we'll go over some of those dangers in some of the seminars. And we really hope that nobody gets ripped off. But if you do get ripped off, of course, we push that information back out to everybody else so the next person doesn't fall for the same. We really want to provide real safety in numbers, because there's this concept that you all sail together, and we didn't want that. We want people to basically have the information at their fingertips from the person that was just there in that same port, maybe a day, maybe a week, or maybe a few days before. Then we provide tracking, so you get free tracking. That's with our partner from Predict Wind, and you basically sign up for a free Predict Wind account. And then you can submit your tracking via email, just a simple email in a simple format, or you can do it automatically using your other trackers. So if you have an Iridium Go with a Predict Wind account, you can get that automatically in. If you use DeLorme or if you use Garmin, they also have a way of sucking that information in. That information is really invaluable, because as you look at the tracking map, then you can look ahead and basically tap somebody with the Line app and say, hey, what's the condition currently in Tinacotita? Is this tenable with this hurricane going by? How big are the swells? And it's real-time information for you to make a safer decision. We then also ask you to record your seamanship and anchorage data for the next participant. And over time, we have now collected all that data into Good Nautical. And we'll go over that in a little bit. We also want to update the fleet. So once a week during the season, we'll send a fleet to, we'll basically send out a network. Somebody has their mic not muted. Please, everyone, make sure that you're muted. Who's the culprit? I'm going to find you. Okay. Maybe not. And then ultimately also have fun, right? At the end of the day, we don't get to this stage in our lives in order to be miserable or have to run on schedules. So the goal was to always create an environment whereby we have the ability to, Tina, please unmute, please mute your mic. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I don't want to hear you. Thank you. Please mute your mic.
I'm sorry.
Please mute your mic.
Mute my mic.
Okay, good, that worked. Thank you. So our goal is to create a water world without borders and allow participants to basically have an easier time, have better information, and find good locations and help each other out in a more succinct manner. From a communications perspective, we have a main website where you register, where you sign on, where once you're onboarded, also you're verified with marinas for your discounts. And in there, we also have resources, charts, library. There's links to the individual sponsors. So once you're set up, then you can request your discount at West Marine. You can get your discounts, you can all your tracking. That's all done from within the Panama Posse website. We do a little bit on Facebook, but mostly outbound. And that's where you can also submit some of your images. We have weekly fleet updates, as I said, in season, where we summarize kind of like what happened through the week. And we'll also nominate things for the future award. And we have several awards that we give out every year. The Line.me is where you download your app, basically. And the app then makes it available for you to be able in the chat room to ask questions. And of course, following the protocol of Gestalt, which means only facts and not opinions. And we try to keep it that way because otherwise fights break out. And we have to move people out of the chat room. So our focus is, again, using the communications protocol of facts and not opinions. And then finally, Good Nautical, which is a nonprofit organization where we collect, record, and hopefully improve navigational and maritime data from all the active participants in the Panama Posse. It currently has over 35,000 points of interest, and obviously all the anchorages that folks have been in are in there now, many with pictures, many with places where you can actually go and take your dinghy in, how you get on shore, what is available locally. That only improves over time. So every year we go through the data, we look at it, and if you find something, you can simply log in and actually add a comment. This is also where you find all the information about how to check in and out of countries, what the best user cases are, and what the latest information is. With 17 countries, that changes a lot. So we want to keep that up to date within Good Nautical. Next, Line is the application. It's an application that runs either on your cell phone, whether it's Android or an iPhone, or it also runs on a PC and on a Mac as an application. So you can basically follow it along. The reason we use it is because almost no one else uses it. It's basically in Asia. It's a Japanese South Korean conglomerate that uses it. And what we wanted to make sure is that everybody has their boat name first, followed by their name, because we want to use a maritime environment. So here's Van Chang Jen, then there's Sailing Vessel Enjoy, Don and Nina, and then down here is Sailing Vessel Sanho Lali, and etc. So this is how we like to see things. You can put your picture of yourself in there or a picture of your boat. And then in the chat room, we basically know which boat said something and what their name is. And we basically go by vessel name and first name. It also allows us for really good quality voice call. And once a week during season, we have a live call, which we use this app for. And in that call, we go over the weather for the entire route. We go over any logistical issues that you may have. You can raise any issues. And of course, you get to participate and give us any updates that are of information and information gathering for others. It also has the chat feature, which also allows you to drop in location pins and take a picture on the spot of the anchorage of a great burrito bar that you found, or a really nice museum that you went to in Panama. All those things we then collect, and then we regurgitate them out for you into fleet updates if they're relevant. Discounts. So with over 70 marinas in here, if you go to panamaposse.com/sponsors, here's where all the links are. You can see them geographically because you may not know the name of the marina. You can then also zoom in. You can then click on those links, and that gets you directly to the marina page that's on the Panama Posse website. There is the reservation information. There is the contact information. And as you make your reservations, please mention to them that you are part of the posse. You in turn, then they verify you on the public list, and that's how you get your discounts. We also have discount with Predict Wind. So if you email Predict Wind, they'll give you 20% off their Pro. We have a discount of 10% with 7-star yacht transport. So should you get to Panama and want to ship your boat somewhere else in the world, they'll get you a discount on that. We also have Yacht Agents Galapagos. They also are a tour provider and clearing in, clearing out of Galapagos, Shelter Island Inflatables, West Marine Pro. This is huge. I think in the last 6 months, we've spent close to $100,000 already. So our discount levels for all the participants seem to be going up. San Diego Marine Exchange, for those of you who know it, they also give us 15% off. Chris Parker, who has weather routing on the Atlantic and is really an ace on that, he's also giving us percentages off. In Mexico, you get a discount with Home Depot Pro, with Hertz Rental Cars. And in Costa Rica, we now have the first distribution company. And every time we come across somebody that works with us, you as a participant, basically just send us an email and we'll try to get a discount for the next guys after they come to you. So that's how we negotiate. And that's really the power of the group to say, where can we save money? Where can we make things more transparent and easier? We also have an official Panama Canal agent. That's Eric, and he's really a phenomenal guy. He's been a canal agent for the last, I think, 30 years of his life. And that alone will almost pay for the entire fee for the year for the Panama Posse. We also have partners and official ambassadors, Vicentes Moorings in Acapulco, Discover Tours Chiapas in Mexico, a couple of folks that used to be sailors and now have villas along the way, a couple of other chandleries, and of course, advertising partners here in Las Vegas. Brent, I think he's on the call. We'll talk with him in a little bit. And then Safe Esteem is an app that deals with global risk management. And of course, if you know anybody that's interested in sponsoring us, my goal is to give you guys the discount, get you guys to save a little money along the way and have a better experience. All right, moving on. Good Nautical, on the other hand, is a nonprofit. It's a website. It's a work of love, and yes, it's lots of fixes, but all the information is in there, and it's best used on a laptop. So if you have a laptop, and you can then log in and you see all the anchorages. These are all the anchorages and dangers and marinas and issues and ports of entries for example, Panama. So as you can see, we've gathered this for most maritime areas. It's available only to participants of the posse. So you're the only ones that have access to this, and that's where we're going to safeguard this, because we want people that actually do things and actually are on boats to participate and share good and quality information. One of the awards we give out every year is highest wind recorded. So if you're in some high winds, here's 57.2 knots that was recorded last year, and we give a lovely award out for that. Next, let's move on to OpenCPN. And I want to turn the mic over a little bit to Rob on Avant. I think you're on the call. Rob, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm here, Dietmar.
So Rob's he's like the granddaddy, the guru, the Yoda of the group, certainly smarter than I am. And for the last 4 years, we have been collecting and creating charts. And the benefits of using OpenCPN, which is free, is it's free, it's open, it's standalone, it's a backup to your other navigation systems. It works on Mac, PC, Android, Linux, Raspberry Pi. Just doesn't work on iPhones. It allows you to integrate satellite charts. It allows you to view reference charts, and it's an additional aid to navigation. And I'm going to stop the share, and I'm going to point at Rob right now so he can talk a little bit of why we insist or why we make it even an issue for navigation. Where are you, Rob?
Well, I'm up in Vancouver, and the next OpenCPN seminar will be at my house.
Okay.
At 3 o'clock. Vincente from Last Arrow is coming over, and we're going to set him up. And I ran seminars in Shelter Bay and help people get set up there as well. What you'll find when you travel south of San Diego, two things really radically change. Well, three. The first is everyone speaks Spanish, which isn't true in San Diego. The second one is the weather forecasting resources become horrible compared to what you get in America. And the third one is the charts are awful. So generally speaking, the charts over the last 5 years that you might use in your chart plotter have improved radically. However, they're still really horrible by first world standards. For example, the soundings in the majority of the area in the Sea of Cortez that people cruise in were done literally during the First World War. So they're over 100 years old, and they're not really all that accurate. So what we've done to help people is create a series of satellite views, and Dietmar just had an image of that up on the screen. And these satellite views allow you in close to shore to see much more accurately what's going on. So there's a view of the chart, and there's a view of, that's Barra de Navidad and the entrance. And you can see that the chart is not too bad and is fairly accurate there. However, the channel that you'll see, Dietmar's just going to point at the channel with, yeah, there we go. And you can see very clearly where the channel is in the satellite view. And that makes it much easier to follow when you go into the anchorage there, when you go past the marina. So, and in this area, the charts are actually pretty good. In many other areas, the charts are even worse. There are islands on the chart in Mexico and some in Panama that don't exist in the real world. There are other islands that exist in the real world that aren't on the chart. And the beauty of the satellite view is that it will show you what's going on, and it will show you much more clearly exactly what's happening when you get into those anchorage areas. So highly recommended that you take the time to familiarize yourself with a few of the basics. Now, as part of the kickoff in Barra de Navidad, we always run a seminar, but I would recommend that you take the time. Dietmar will send out shortly a link on how to make this work on your PC or your Mac or your Android or whatever, and have a look, take the time, set it up. And for those of you who are new to the posse, the thing that I can't emphasize enough is you really want to download these charts while you're in the first world, because once you get off the high-speed internet, you're really drinking through a straw, and you can't download. Downloading the full set of charts in Barra de Navidad would literally take probably 24 hours of your device full time pulling them off the internet. What are we up to now? About 160 gigabytes?
Yeah, 160 gigs of charts that folks have contributed and made, and we want to make sure that you download them in the first world. So as soon as you, it's part of your welcome package for those of you who have joined already. So you get a download link and you can just pull them all down and just download the big charts. We can make it work for you in the future. We can talk about this. We have all the seminars on how to make it work. And as we said, Rob always comes on and we'll have abilities for you to make it work. The main thing is you have to have storage for it. So you'll need at least 200 gigs of hardware storage available, which sometimes limits it on smaller tablets and phones, but which is why we kind of recommended a laptop, but it works on other devices too.
Yeah, if you get an Android tablet, lots of people use those, and you can put a very large memory chip in it. That'd be enough to support this. That's what I use on board Avant. But so the two big takeaways that I would give everyone are, you absolutely want to do this because it brings the charts alive and lets you see what's really there, lets you see shallow areas, lets you see rocks. And the second thing is you want to do these downloads while you're in preferably, America, Europe, wherever you have a high-speed internet connection. You can download them in an hour or so when you're in the first world, and it becomes a multi-day, trial by fire if you want to do it elsewhere. So by all means, get going on this, and look forward to catching up with you guys as the seminars go on. Back over to you, Dietmar.
Hey, thanks so much, Rob, and thank you, everybody. So let's move on. So the routes. let's talk about the routes. We originally started in central Mexico all the way to Panama. And over time, of course, we ran across folks that wanted to go back up. So we created a counter posse. Then we had folks that wanted to join in San Diego, not being part of his schedule. So we supported that, and we do seminars on how you can make your way safely down without a schedule and kind of day hop your way, maybe with just one overnight all the way to the Baja Peninsula. We then, of course, had folks sailing out, and they were going east and west through the Panama Canal and then eventually up to Florida. So we have two routes. One, if you can be patient, make your way to Jamaica and make it through the Windward Passage north. And then, of course, as we were running north, folks were coming down and say, hey, why don't we deal with you guys? So we also now have marinas and dealerships, and representation all the way up to Annapolis. So between COVID and the last 2 years, we really expanded our sponsorships all the way on the East Coast. And we go as far east now as the Dominican Republic. And we go as far as the Galapagos. We go all the way to San Diego and all the way up to Annapolis. So over time, you will find choke points or Florida where there's just too many boats and it's very hard to negotiate with a marina when they are full to ask them for a discount. But sometimes it's just a matter of time. We keep pounding them, and over time they let loose and they give us a little bit off. And along the way, of course, we find out a lot of good anchorages and a lot of good alternatives for you. So that's the goal for the posse, is to always focus on benefits for the participants first. And that's it. For example, in Jamaica, it took me 4 months to make the calls to 3 marinas. And after it took 4 months for them to just one of them to actually say yes. And once one fell, they all fell. So that's kind of like how we go. We just keep pounding at it in different languages in different areas to make sure that we know that what resources and what's available to you. So these routes are there. For those of you who have signed up, you've been assigned to pods, and those pods kind of like give away your route or your indication. You can always change that. We just wanted it to make sure that you're part of the original posse, the counter posse. There's a group that comes from the ABCs usually, and then past Venezuela, and then they join in Colombia because they want to get the information about Panama. So just join up and let us know if you want to change your pods. You can totally do so. We also, again, and we said we offer voluntary tracking. That's been really helpful, particularly for folks that, let's say you want to check into Costa Rica, and last week they just changed the law. So it's now no longer 3 months. Now you can almost spend 1.5 years in Costa Rica. So all that information will be done by participants, and it will be added and updated to everybody else as things change, as conditions change, as moorings break, as marinas have changes in rates. All that is forwarded to us. That's all information that gets provided back to you. So it's really a peer-to-peer network. All right, so that's the big overview. And now we're going to go to questions and answers. And I'm going to just stop the share. And anybody that has a question, just ask away. We're here for you.
Dietmar.
Yes.
Kim McGonigal here.
Hey, Kim, how are you?
I'm good. I have a question. I downloaded all my CPM charts last year.
Yes.
How do I keep them up to date?
Are we talking satellite charts, or are we talking actual CM93 charts?
All the ones that I downloaded on my Samsung, the satellite charts.
Yeah, they tend to, other than river bars and where there's a lot of runoffs, those are the charts that we have. Now, what you can do, if you want, you can just delete them all and re-download the latest batch, and that way you'll have the latest batch that we've made over the last 9 months or so.
Okay, well, that was my question. Do you update them? And if you do, how do I get the updates? Yeah. So just delete it and start over again.
Yeah, sorry, we don't have a big software house that does file synchronization yet. We'll hope to get there one day.
No problem. No problem. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Who else?
Dieter, a question about.
Oh, wait. Number one rule: don't call me Dieter. Call me Dietmar.
Dietmar.
There you go. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Sergio here.
Hello, Sergio.
Coverage in Polynesia or anyhow in West Pacific, you showed the chart that was stopping at the Galapagos.
Yeah, we have a sister organization called the South Pacific Posse, and there we cover the entire rest. And the good news is you can immediately upgrade. If you're part of the posse, for 50% of the registration fee, you can join the South Pacific Posse, basically.
Okay, and
And
you
then
will find
you'll have the whole South Pacific. You have another, I think, 180 gigabytes for the South Pacific available to you, and discounts in 12 marinas.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Dietmar, Alan here.
Hey, Alan, how are you?
Very good. I'm not very software conversant. Is there going to be some upcoming courses on this Open CPN and how to use the charts?
Yes. Actually, that's what we mentioned. And Rob and I, we usually do a seminar. We do several seminars. We know it gets a little technical, but it really is a very important additional aid to navigation. So just keep that in mind. One of the things that Rob has in one of the articles is a really sad story of a sailor who trusted a chart and really one of the top chart manufacturers, and wound up on the reef and lost his boat. Total loss. So we use OpenCPN for many reasons, and the main one is we don't want you to wind up on a reef.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
Yes.
this is make me laugh again.
Hey, make me laugh again.
Hello. So I've seen a number of people on the line right now are asking how to get the information. So this is a recorded message, right? Today?
Mm-mm.
Nope, not recorded. So if they didn't get into the Zoom, they're not going to get the message. All right. So, but we'll see this all again in Barra de Navidad, right?
Yeah, I'm going to have a seminar like this once a month till the season begins. And then by then, you're going to be buddy boating, you're going to be next to somebody that will know more about it. So we'll make sure that you get that information again, Neil.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything new, but I'm just listening, and I was just wondering about the others. That's all. Thanks.
Yeah, this was an introductory call, so we're happy that you join us. This is really for folks who are like, oh, maybe I want to join the posse, or I've just joined the posse. What did I get myself into, right?
Hi, Dietmar. This is Laura.
Hi. Hey, Laura, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. We just joined, my husband and I. We're in Grenada right now. We've been having a lot of difficulty getting logged into the Panama Posse vessel tracking. It seems to be a computer-generated password, but my husband, who is also on email, we cannot get logged in, and he needs to be able to download those
Satellite charts.
Okay, Laura, tell you what, send an email to registration. We'll do this offline.
Thank you. And what is that email? Because I've sent one already.
Registration@panamaposse.com. That's the main email.
Okay.
That's where that's the big bucket where you want to be in.
Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Laura. Welcome to the posse.
Thank you.
Who else we got?
Hello, Dietmar.
Hey,
my
Richard.
My name is Richard. Are there crewing opportunities within the whole system?
There is, but we don't focus in on it because crew has its own level of complexity. We have matched people up in the past, but we recommend you use an organization like CrewBay, Crew Finder. The questions which we have on the Panama Posse /crew are quite onerous. They're designed to be onerous because we focus on boat owners and basically people who operate their boats. We know sometimes it's good to have crew, and we know why you may want to have crew, but it's just a can of worms we have not been able to successfully do because everybody's crew requirements are very different. Everybody's their own captain. We treat you like an owner and as a captain, and as such, creating a baseline for crew has also been impossible. So I'm sorry, your vessel, your crew, your responsibility. We'll help you. We'll warn you. Every time you bring crew into a different country, you are liable for them. and you're liable for the expatriation. So if any crew that wants to join you doesn't put up a $2,000 bond, that's money that can come out of your pocket. So keep that in mind.
Thank you very much.
And sorry to be such a hard ass about crew, but maybe I've had too many bad experiences.
Dietmar, hi, this is Kempton Baldridge with PTF 26. Just a quick question.
Kempton, you're our hero. We have an amazing, amazing warship. You guys were, it's a Vietnam. Come on, tell us a little bit, Kempton. Come on, you can tell the spotlight.
Well, she's not a warship anymore, lest we end up being impounded by the Mexican authorities. So please, let's get that straight. But you're right. She has a combat action ribbon and a presidential unit citation from her service in Vietnam. And for the past 25 years, she has been one of the nation's leading youth training vessels with an all-female crew. Matter of fact, and Captain Tommy Thomas is actually on the line with us right now. But just had a quick question. We're the underwriters, the insurance folks. They've been very. I'll choose my words carefully. They've been supportive to this point, but when we talk about heading south of the border, they get nervous. And is there do you have any recommendations for ways to calm potentially troubled waters with insurers?
So as you know, the insurance world for the last 4 years has been horrific, particularly for private vessels. I think I personally run my vessel only on third-party liability, because obviously having done this route several times now, following my own wake, I know that my chances of running into something that is non-movable is going to be very slim. What you are going to experience is, I mean, particularly in your case, because you are what still looks like a warship, you're going to get attract a lot of eyeballs. And I'm going to, I can't tell you what to do. I recommend in particular use case scenario, say, we have a tracker, which you'll use. You're part of the fleet. So if there's a problem that you have, there's somebody else that's nearby or relatively nearby that's part of the same organization to assist you. And obviously your seamanship, your licenses, your captains, your experiences really helps. And then ultimately, if you need local insurance, there's local insurance provider that will give you third-party liability. For the Panama Canal, one of my favorite anecdotes is a lot of boats go through the canal and then you deal with the agent. And then the agent basically gets you all set up. You can do it by yourself, but it saves you a lot of times using the agent. And then they'll give you an advisor. And a lot of folks then complain to the advisor about the rules and I have to do this and why do I have to do that? And the advisor always says back this particular advisor always goes back to the captain and says, well, who are you going to complain to? It's the Americans that started the canal and it's the Americans that came up with the rules. So that's who you got to complain to. So, one of the ways for you to say, we have to go through the Panama Canal, which was built by America. It's been operating for over 100 years successfully. And that's just the route. And I can't be the first vessel to go down this way. That's put the reversal on them. And then Walt, for example, he's on the call and you can tap him. Walt got insurance in Panama from an insurance provider in Panama. So there's a lot of local companies that may also want your business that know the waters better.
Well, the issue we had last summer was that at the last minute, Novamar refused to let us, they wouldn't issue us a policy where they had before. And so navigating the rocks and shoals of marine insurance is obviously key and way above my pay grade as a Navy chaplain. So.
One of our goals has always been as a Panama Posse create our own group insurance. We're not there yet. It's a big to do. But one day we'll solve that. But right now, unfortunately, insurance is just the way it is. Jim, I see Jim on the call. I see another chaplain. I'm going to make sure Jim says a couple of kind words, hopefully.
Panama Posse has been a great experience for us, and we have been so blessed that we have met so many friends and had so many opportunities with the group. And you know, I use a Fruno system, not advertising for it, but the active captain portion of it is going to die. They're not renewing it, and so the only way you get any intel on what's going on in an anchorage that's not decades old is going to be from Good Nautical and other members of the Panama Posse. So that's one of the great things about networking here with the group. So, and I would try, we tried Jackline with our insurance and we're successful with that. A lot more expensive, but so for you, sir, I'd give them a jingle and see what they can do. They're underwritten by Lloyd's of London. So anyhow, good morning, Dietmar. We miss you, man.
I miss everybody. Let's talk with somebody else. Anybody else got questions? This is your chance. Yes,
Yeah,
Laura. Sorry, Lauren raised her hand.
Hi, yes. I'm currently in Washington State. We have a boat in San Diego, and I got on the call a little late, so I very much apologize for this. The name of the group is Panama Posse. And so we've sailed a lot in the Pacific. This year, we're just going to go down from San Diego to Cia Cortez and maybe Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, that region. Is there some real value in us joining this? Because of the name, my friend just sent me the link to this meeting. Because of the name, I'm a little put off because we're not going to Panama, but I see your satellites, your charts are very comprehensive. So for someone who's going from San Diego to the Cia Cortez, the value there is rich, you think?
I think so. One is if you're not going to go with another group, one is you'll be tracked. Secondly, you'll have discounts at marinas in Ensenada, in San Diego. You'll have seminars and parties there. You'll also have discount in Mazatlan, in Marina Puerto Escondido, in the Sea of Cortez. And that's just from a financial. So if you're only worried about the transactional aspect, you'll have people that care about you, and you'll have discounts. So that'll pay for the fee for itself.
Sure.
If you want it from a lifestyle perspective, we'd love to have you, right?
Great.
And we also
so
cover
it's
you for 9 months. So everything outside hurricane season. So unlike other rallies, which take you 2 weeks or maybe a month, we cover you for the whole season. So you don't know what's going to go wrong yet, but when something goes wrong, you'll put that in the lineup and they'll be your answer for you. It'll save you a lot of time. Go ahead, Doug. You got your hands raised.
Hi, thanks. Can I entertain one more question about crewing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for the site that requires a complete application, background, or ID verification, background, criminal history or verification.
Doug,
You know,
that's on you.
so-
That's on you. That's on you,
Yeah,
man.
well, I'm looking. Yeah, I want to find a website that's that complete. I just don't find any.
Yeah, no, you may need to build it, Doug, and good luck.
Thanks.
Andrea. Hi, you have your hand
Hi.
raised. Go ahead.
Danny's got a question. Hey, Dietmar.
Hey.
As far as safety concerns, not when it comes to like piracy and stuff like that. From what I understand, the Pacific's pretty safe. It's really just kind of the Honduras, Nicaraguan area. Is there?
Yeah. We go over it in the seminar. You will have corrupt cops that will stop you on the, and write you a speeding ticket. So we have a whole procedure on that. Not on the ocean. You will have long lines that you will have to dodge, and those are just some of the things that tonnage sometimes resolves that issue, or just having a good knife available. You'll have some uncharted rocks, which we have in Good Nautical, so avoid those. So we have, for the last 5 years, basically figured out all the problems and tried to solve them for you. A couple of things are on the procedure side. The Panamanian immigration have been a little bit corrupt. So when you get there, make sure you get everything stamped and dotted. And again, we go over that in all the seminars in Barra de Navidad. But if you're coming out, even on the East Coast, there's two major piracy areas, and Rob and I will go over this. Obviously off the coast of Venezuela, although non-American boats have been able to go to Los Roques. And then of course the border, which is Honduras and Nicaragua with 135 miles distance. We've had many boats run over there now successfully. Actually, I think Scott on Raven, didn't you do this run twice now? Pacific Raven, Scott, are you on the call?
Yeah, I did it twice, and I was about, I wanted to be 100 miles, but I was about 90 miles. I had no issue either way whatsoever. And I even went pretty close into Nicaragua on the southern part in a place called the Corn Islands, Little Corn Island and Big Corn Island. Beautiful spot. It was recommended by a number of people, and I decided to go, kind of getting close, but it had no issues whatsoever.
All right, copy that. Then of course we have a protocol in case you do get into trouble to escalate it. We have a couple of phone numbers that we can raise. So that's another reason you want to have the line app in case you do get into a scuffle. At least you'll have some of the posse there to come and at least attempt to help you, at least be notified the authorities. Or if we can't do that, then we can raise hell with everybody else. I hope that answers your question.
No, that helps a lot. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Dietmar,
Yes.
Kim McGonigal.
Hey, Kim.
I think you should make a deal with Kempton and use his boat to lead these people through the bad areas. There's no way they're going to mess with his boat.
I was secretly hoping that we, you just unzipped the fly too early, dude. We got to make sure Kempton's on board first. We first got to get him into our territory before we can do a nice little, what's the word? Armada with him. But yes.
Yeah, because if I saw his boat coming, I would be running away from it. Anyway, but what I wanted to say for the lady who was asking about the value, I've been a member now for a year. Unfortunately, due to health reasons, we've been stuck in the Sea of Cortez for 2 years. I just had back surgery last week, but I've learned so much just being on the line calls every week. So to go from San Diego down to the Sea of Cortez, if you just listen to those calls, you're going to get so much value. It's unbelievable. This is by far and away the best deal I've ever had in boating.
Wow.
Just wanted to give you a little commercial.
A nice show.
Hold on. I'm going to ask Brent. Brent, are you on the call? Did you record this? He's in advertising.
Yes. Hi, how are you, Dietmar?
Great.
Hello, everyone. Great. This is great. This is my, what's this, my 5th year joining these calls with you, Dietmar, give or take, right? Just a quick background. Dietmar and I've been friends since, the early 2000s. Worked together, across a number of different businesses. The one thing that was sort of always, the underlying thread was that the businesses had something to do with technology. My role here with the Panama Posse is actually to help oversee aspects of sustainability for the whole business. So Panama Posse is part of the Ocean Posse. And Dietmar, I'll let you talk about that in particular, sort of the sister groups, different parts of the world, regions of the world. But my job is to kind of have the 10-year vision for the Oceans Posse and what it means for all the participants, to you guys. So I really look at sustainability. I look at how we can work together with partners in order to continually add more value, just to give better benefits to the participants, to make people have a better time and a safer time as they're in charge of their own route on their own schedule. This might include things like having fun, making sure that we have sponsors for booze and make sure we have food in the right places, and the parties are a good time, and that there's also some educational aspect in each of those events that are planned. Dietmar's done an incredible job all over the world, making sure that people learn and have fun at the same time. And I think that really is the underlying theme and current for what the Panama Posse is all about. The safe travel on your own schedule, and having a really good time doing it, and making sure that the kerfuffles, I think you call them, that have happened to other people in the past, everyone those are knowns, so that people know what to avoid and what to do, and to make sure that there's constant communication. My role is sort of the guinea pig on the communication side. Deemer always sends things over to me and makes me join things first from different places around the world and make sure it works before he rolls them out. So I'm always here, I'm always listening, and my role is really to hear from you guys and to help grow the entire community over years. And this is my 5.5 years of doing it now, and it's just amazing to see the progress that's happened. And if we continue at a trajectory anything close to what has been happening in the last couple of years, it's really going to be a lot of value.
All right, enough. Stop talking business. Thanks, Brent.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Okay.
Dietmar, it's Scott.
Yeah.
It's Scott on Pacific Grave, and I just anybody that's considering joining or planning to move around. I've been all around Central America on the Pacific side and on the Caribbean side, and this organization is somebody or something you should for sure join.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Got to be more questions. Come on, give me something hard. Larry, you got to have something for me. Come on. Walt.
I do have a question.
Yes, Larry.
Do you guys maintain any resources for cruising with dogs or animals on boats at all within the posse?
Yes. So funny, obviously I'm now back to having a dog on board. We were dogless for 3 years. There is 3 things. One is your dog chipped, and is it perfectly ready for international travel, right? Once that answer is a yes, versus, we've had people that basically pick up a street dog in Mexico and then want to enter to New Zealand with it, right? So the different preparations will get you different outcomes. The reality is there's 3 things that you and I, and being on a boat when we're traveling with animals, have to be considered. One is entry by boat, entry by car, or entry by plane. And each one of them will have a different, so to speak, roadblock or obstacle. And then we also have the complexity of where you're coming from and where you're going. So example, if you're trying to travel with a dog on a boat from Colombia to Cayman Islands, is very different than if you're trying to come by plane from South Africa to the Cayman Islands. So the complexity of this grid of what is allowed, who and what, is like it's almost like a matrix, right, of obstacles. Now we have one of the participants. It's another Nordhaven, and she's trying to compile and make the planning a little easier. For example, we just traveled with our dog back. We flew back from Costa Rica. We had to get a certificate from a local vet. We learned that we needed to get this certificate from another boat that had problems last year, who went to Costa Rica with the dog, didn't have to check him in and out, but on the way out, they needed to get a certificate. So the problem is not just you traveling in through by boat, is how you're going to come back out. So we're trying to create this grid. It's going to take time, and it's going to take resources, and it's going to take a couple of trial and errors to get this right.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, it's not a clear answer. It's
not a clear problem. I mean, we've been traveling with our dog for a couple of years, and we've experienced all of the things you just mentioned. So,
yeah,
and there is no unified source. This would be a good platform, I think, to do that, to share information.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
Chris on Zephyr.
Hey, Zephyr.
How are you? Hey,
good.
I'm thinking about getting Starlink for a boat. As my wife Laura mentioned, we're in Grenada now, heading to the ABCs, Colombia, Panama, up the west coast, Central America over the next year or plus. And I'm curious, is there any group or any way that we could ask the group in general what their experience is with Starlink? Since I think a lot of people are going to start using that, and in these third world countries, it could be really beneficial.
Yes, I mean, supposedly Panama is opening up now, Costa Rica next year. So we have all the projected dates by folks. I know that it works in northern Mexico now. We have many participants that have been using it successfully in Mexico. Anybody else has an update on Panama? Come now.
There was an announcement that came out, I think it was 2 days ago, that said that Starlink is going to start to be available on cruise ships all up and down the Pacific. So that's a good sign for us.
Yeah, that's the maritime part, and of course that's the $5,000 a month fee that everybody's trying to avoid. We're talking about the RV version, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah.
And I was curious if anybody has any experience with Starlink in Colombia, specifically Cartagena, the Colombian coast as well.
No, but we want you to be the one to give us the info. Come on, bite the bullet, baby.
I
Ditmar.
think I'm going to be the guinea pig.
Yeah.
Ditmar,
Yes, go ahead, Kim.
I've now had Starlink on my boat for 2 months.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable.
But where are you?
Okay, and that's what I'm going to get to. I'm in Loretto.
Okay.
It only works within 6 to 7 miles of land.
Okay.
Okay. You can go on the Starlink coverage map and it'll show you where they have coverage and where they do not have coverage. Just Google Starlink map, and that map is up to date.
Okay.
Everyone in Loretto, all the boats there now have Starlink. I mean, we had horrible internet service, and now it's unbelievable for phone calls, for streaming movies. I mean, it's better than my service at home in Newport Beach. It's incredible. Now, I bought the residential model with portability. The RV model is lower priority. So I wanted top priority, and we're on our boat enough that I don't care to turn it off. And I actually fixed my Starlink antenna. I took my Sat TV out of my dome up top and installed it in the dome. It works beautifully.
Okay.
But my suggestion for the gentleman asking about it is look at the Starlink map. That will tell you where they have coverage. And you should be able to email them and find out when they're going to have coverage in your area.
Perfect.
And by the way, we ordered Starlink, had it shipped directly to Mexico. I got it in 1 week.
Okay.
Okay, good information. Thank you.
All right, so a couple of things. The Burgies are here now, so we have them, and they're thicker than last season. So hopefully they'll destroy a lot less. They're good for about 3 months. We also going to mail them out. So for those of you who have signed up for your West Marine Pro discounts, I'm also going to mail those cards with them. Shipping is about $640, and we ship them out, and we'll send you a payment link via PayPal to basically reimburse us for the shipping. We'll also add these postcards to this, so hopefully you'll hand out a few postcards and one poster if you can hang in the marina. That's how we keep our marketing costs low. And we'll even get you a couple of stickers. Event-wise, we have an event in San Diego. We've just confirmed the first night, which is going to be Thursday, October 26th, I believe is the date. So for those of you who are in California, that's where we'll be. We'll also have a big party joined with Latitudes and Attitudes at the Annapolis Boat Show. We're going to be rolling up some cases of rum for that. And then, of course, the big event will be in Barra de Navidad. And for those of you who are kind of geeky and want to be at Meetup, I will be at the IBEX at the IBEX show in Tampa, where all the component manufacturers and the electronics guys are, and that's at the end of September. Anybody wants to meet up, please let me know. I'm happy to, sit down, have a beer, drink some rum, and even have a meal with you guys. And other than that, the big event then is in Barra de Navidad. So for those of you in Mexico already, you make your way down for that first week in December. After that, we have confirmed another event in early February in Panama, which will be a joint Pacific Posse, Panama Posse kickoff event. That will be at Shelter Bay Marina, and it's in the first week in February, and we'll do a couple of seminars there as well to address those of you who want to jump across the Pacific. And lastly, in early March, we will have a Papagayo Winds Survivors Party. For those of you who don't know the Papagayo Winds, you will be glad that there will be a party for you to celebrate. And that will be in Costa Rica at one of the participants' resorts right on the beach. Jim is kind of smiling, and we'll have a really fun event there. And lastly, we'll figure out when we have the season finale party, whether it's in Vista Mar and what time of the year. We haven't set the date for that yet. For those of you on the East Coast who are heading your way towards on the East Coast, considering going to Europe, we are launching the Atlantic Posse this year. We've already negotiated 12 marinas, and so my goal is on the way east to basically firm up the deals all the way up the eastern seaboard until we head all the way to Europe. So the goal will be to go from either Puerto Rico or from the Dominican Republic to Bermuda via the Azores, and then to Spain and to Gibraltar, and then Portugal. And subsequently, we have a business partner in Europe that is putting together a posse that will start from Spain, make their way down the coast of Africa all the way across, and then make landfall in Martinique. That will round up the Atlantic Posse. So we hope that over time, that as your seamanship increases, or as your adventure lust goes a little further, you can go a little further. Questions before we close this call? Does anybody else have any questions, any comments at all? Please come now.
Dietmar, Walt,
Yes, go ahead, Walt.
are you gonna ship Burgies to Vista Mar?
No, they're in Shelter Bay. I need them. If you wanna run to Shelter Bay and get them, I'm authorizing you to bring a bunch with you.
Lauren on sail vessel Deja Vu.
Yeah, go ahead, Lauren.
Just a quick question on the Starlink. The gentleman who was speaking about it said he has the residential version with the mobility model. I'm looking on the site right now, and is the mobility an add-on to it, or is it extra fee?
It's
Yes,
actually,
and yes.
it's actually portability, and there is an extra $20 a month fee for it.
Okay.
And the portability is so as we move from cove to cove, that they allow us to do it. I will tell you, all of us have used ours underway, and we've not had any problem as long as we're staying within 5 miles of shore. For some reason, through GPS, they've shut off the signal out offshore.
Okay,
And I've confirmed it with miles of shore.
great.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much. We were quite, we looked at the marine one, and it was so expensive that we were like, whoa, okay, we probably won't be doing that. But now that you say that you can do the residential with mobility or portability, we'll do that.
Okay, anybody else got any questions at all?
Yes, I do. One last question. This is
Yeah, go ahead, Laura. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, to request a West Marine Pro card and the Burgie, do we do that through the registration email, or
Yes.
how would you suggest I do that?
Once you're registered, then you'll basically get the links to West Marine Pro. You fill that out, and we sent that in. The card takes 3 to 4 weeks. That just take that long, but your discount, the moment we submit it, within 2-3 days, you basically get your online discount. And once you're in the system, most stores will look you up by name And it's all under the Good Nautical, the nonprofit that we set up the discount for you. It really saves a lot of money. Like we know people have saved thousands of dollars just in the last few months just by using that discount.
Okay, so I'll look for it on the Good Nautica link. Thank you.
On your welcome link, you'll have it. On your welcome email, there'll be a link.
Okay, thank you.
Dietmar Wald again.
Yeah, well.
So the
Wait,
discount-
hold on, Jareen. The hair is back. Yeah, baby.
Yes.
She lied to me. She told me she was a blonde.
Yeah. Go ahead, Walt. Sorry.
Okay, so on the West Marine Pro, it's listed under Good Nautical as opposed to under Panama Posse.
Yeah, correct. They needed an actual corporation that operates in the US, so we gave them our nonprofit.
Okay, all right, because I tried buying something there and they couldn't give me the discount, and I go, okay, well, I'll get it fixed somehow.
No.
Yeah,
All right,
now we know. All right, anybody else? Please come now.
Make me laugh again.
Hey, Neil.
Hi, so when you mail out those burgees and the cards, are you going to be mailing them indiscriminately, or is it a matter of we have to ask you to mail it?
You have to ask me.
Good, because I don't want to pick it up until I get to Barrio de Navidad. We don't have a good solid mailing address.
Okay, or where are you now?
Today we're in San Diego. Next week we'll be in Las Vegas. The week after that we'll be in Iowa and
Hey,
in Missouri.
I'm in Vegas. I'm in Vegas, baby. So Neil, let's get together in Vegas.
Okay, maybe. All right.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Yeah, well, go ahead, Rob. Rob on Avant's got his hand up.
Yeah, I want to say on Starlink, I did see a notice that they had reduced the price in Mexico substantially. So if you're thinking of getting Starlink and you can choose between Mexico and America, I would check what it costs to get it in both countries. I think it might be cheaper in Mexico.
Yeah, it is cheaper. And we actually have heard that there's one particular guy, Pancho, in Barra de Navidad. He's basically going to become a Starlink for boaters, I think, hub, because he has a physical address there and he can work with boaters really well. So just put that in the Line app and Pancho will hook you up with a Mexican rate, so to speak. All right, guys. Well, that concludes today's call. I want to thank everybody for being part of it. Thank you. If you haven't joined the Posse, sign up. If you have, just put the questions in the Line app. Make sure you install the Line app, and then your collective wisdom goes to work. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Happy Labor Day or Memorial Day. What is it? Memorial?
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Labor Day. Yeah, end of summer. There we go. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Take care.
Dietmar. Say hi to
Thank you.
Suzanne for us.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
All right, and pictures of Max.
Yes, will do.